More and more people are turning to trail recorders as a way to learn about the whereabouts, demographics, actions, overall well-being, and social connections of a wide range of animal species. The usage of tracking cameras is becoming practical for private individuals and for bigger initiatives due to the advancement and decreasing cost of digital photography techniques. They are primarily designed for scientific investigation, but who knows what terrifying things we might find in their archives someday. In this video, we will talk about some crazy things caught on trail cameras that nobody saw coming. Let's get started. An assault by a mountain lion. The very first video that we have on screen is peculiar. As the mountain lion draws nearer, you notice that one of the dogs is following close behind him. Suddenly, he grabs the other dog that's assaulting his neck and wraps his hind legs over it. The guy hears the chaos and goes over to aid his dog who's being attacked. He'll not allow his dog to be taken from him in this manner. A bizarre occurrence to record on tape. The man in the video has a blade and keeps hacking away at the lion until he ultimately leaves the dog to go free. Sadly, he had to be brought down shortly after this because of the injuries inflicted by the wild animal and the dog's old age. And as you might expect, the lion did not survive after receiving 20 strikes to the forehead by a machete. Thus, they both ended up in the same position. The case of the disappeared girl in the wilderness. The following video is also filled with great intrigue and takes place in the year 2017 in Cambridge, New York. Some unexplainable happenings occurred on the farm owned by an extended family. After what happened, one of their little ones and one of the household dogs would no longer go into the woods for any reason. As a result, the family concluded that it would be best to install some track cameras to attempt to solve the riddle. The family was well aware that they would obtain an immense quantity of footage of various wildlife, yet the film captured by one of the webcams caused them to gasp in shock. The family was taken aback when a young girl suddenly emerged before them, yet when the parents inquired about the girl's contact with their children, none of them could identify her. The family asked around the nearby residents as to whether or not anyone knew the girl. However, no one knew. The fact that the little girl recorded on the track of the camera appears to be strikingly comparable to the girl who vanished, the subject of an urban legend, further adds to the unsettling nature of the situation. The esoteric investigator who was called in claimed to have sensed a presence there. What are your thoughts in response to this? The unidentified creature from the bog forest. A video clip that recently came to light to have originated from Lettuce Park, Florida, pops up to depict what could be a Sasquatch or some other kind of ape moving around in a marshy jungle. A guy by the moniker of Matt was cruising around in a boat when he noticed what he initially believed to be a bear. However, when he saw the animal could walk, he realized it was not a bear. When Matt told the park guard about the sighting, the ranger responded that she was unaware of any animal in the entire park that matched the description given by Matt. The official continued to say that bears don't typically enter that area, and sometimes when they do, most individuals don't encounter them. Because of how easily he navigated over the marshy terrain, lots of people who have watched the video believe that this character is a skunk monkey. What are your thoughts? Additionally, Matt stated that if this is a fraud, the perpetrator must be completely deranged. The swamp is home to various dangerous animals, including water moccasins, alligators that can grow 12 feet long, and more. Matt reported that he stayed to watch the thing, and when it appeared that it had noticed him, he dove beneath the water's surface and disappeared. Matt went up to the spot he was in, but he needed help finding him. The creature of the hilltop. The following clip depicts a sighting of a mysterious creature on a hilltop in British Columbia, Canada, made by a couple who happened upon it while hiking along a logging route. They were photographing the breathtaking surroundings when they suddenly became aware of something in the distance. When the image is enlarged, a shaggy creature that resembles an ape and walks around with its arms flapping can be seen. What do you guys think about this? The man moving on fire. The following video was shot by a man named Daniel, who was documenting a controlled explosion that was taking place on the farm that his immediate family owns in Oklahoma. Surprisingly, he was shooting the fire for one of his internet accounts dedicated to homesteading content. He has an approximate hold on the fire and suddenly spins around to face the lens to provide some insight. At first glance, it's nearly impossible to make out the figure of a runner in the foreground, but as we draw closer, it becomes clear. What might that be exactly? Not until around 9 o'clock that night did one of Daniel's friends send him a text questioning whether the creature in this video was a Bigfoot. Daniel rewatched the footage he had taken to understand what was going on. What could it be if it's not some dogman or a Sasquatch? Who would be as reckless as to dash across another person's property, mainly if it's burning? What do you all think of this particular instance? Goblin Pathway. In the next video, we visit Indonesia, where some off-road riders are tearing up dirt roads on their motorbikes. What was supposed to be a lighthearted ride was an experience that rocked them to their very core when one of the boys had a GoPro camera mounted to his headgear. The creature visible to the extreme right of the panel suddenly dashed out onto the path, forcing one of the bikers to lose control of his brakes and fall from his bike. If we use the reverse button, we can see the goblin at the topmost point of the screen. It looks like he's aware of the riders and makes an effort to escape. Ultimately, he crosses the roadway and flees into the bushes. Motorcyclists go up to where the monster had vanished while the lens is still recording to take a closer look, but they need to be closer to examine the area. Despite this, the bikers had no idea what they had observed when they were on the route to this day. They lingered for a while before finally pulling out of the location, perplexed by what had just happened. Some individuals who have viewed the film believe the monster was a goblin, a dwarf, or an elf. What do you think? After this dreary video, you deserve some upbeat leisure material. Around Christmas time, 20th of December to be exact, this extraordinary story unfolded. A Siberian husky by the name of Koda, who was notorious for getting lost, was nowhere to be found. It was horrible that she had been away for 3 whole days, and her loved ones began to fear the worst after they hadn't heard from her. Even after exploring the valley on foot and with a snowmobile, they had not been able to locate her, nor had they seen her. They teased one another numerous times with the idea that perhaps she had met some new people in the valley and was too preoccupied to return home. This was done to make them feel good. Koda finally strolled back into the garden after disappearing for all 3 extended days as if nothing had occurred and she'd just been away for a few moments. She didn't need to eat and didn't even have a mark on her body at all. She was completely healthy. Everything was going fine for everyone in the family. But where was she? What exactly was she up to all this time? They peppered her with several inquiries. A little over 30 days later, Rachel's uncle conversed with a town neighbor. The neighbor had some surveillance cameras installed for observing wildlife on the land he owned. Still, he'd been out on holiday for several weeks and had only just begun looking at the recordings from late December, and what he saw in the footage was incredible. He photographed their husky dog and a deer buck making out, kissing, and cuddling together. I can guarantee you wouldn't accept that at face value, therefore I have some photos to back up my claim here. If you've been enjoying our content so far, subscribing to the channel is the best way to show your support and stay up to date with our latest videos. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and become part of our YouTube family.